Children, today we will see the characteristics of acids. Till now we have understood what are acids, what are bases, what are indicators. Now we are going to see some characteristics of acids. The first characteristic of acid is mixing of acid and water is an exothermic process. Acids give H+ ions in water. Acid solutions conduct electricity, and in water acids they form hydronium ions. So these are the main 4 characteristics of acids which we are going to see today. Let us see in detail one by one all these characteristics. So the first characteristic is the mixing of acid in water is an exothermic process. So children, we have earlier seen in the first chapter what is an exothermic process. An exothermic process is that process in which heat is released. So when acid is mixed with water, there is a lot of heat produced in the mixing process. So how should we mix an acid in water? The mixing of acid with water is known as dilution of acid. Dilution of acid. So for diluting an acid solution, we take concentrated acid. Let us take an example, HCl, and we mix water with it. Now as heat is produced, we should be very careful while diluting an acid solution. So how should the process be? In a container, we should take water, and in this water, we should add concentrated acid in portions and with continuous stirring. So we should use a glass rod and then we should stir it continuously with adding concentrated acid in small portions in water. Now why should it be done in this way? Because water, as we know, it has a very high value of latent heat of vaporization. This we have seen in class 9, that water has a very high value of latent heat of vaporization. So when we are mixing concentrated acid in water and whatever heat is released, that heat will be absorbed by the water which is present in large quantity in the container. Why will it absorb the heat? Because it is having a high value of latent heat of vaporization. And that is why children, if we come across any kind of burns, so we know that water is cold. Even if we suppose come accidentally in contact of some flame or some steam, our skin may burn, so a lot of water is cold. Why water is cold? Because water has a tremendous capacity to absorb the heat, and that is why in the container we should take water, because if water will be there in more quantity in the container, acid is added, so whatever heat will be released, that will be immediately absorbed by the water in the container. Now if we do the other way, what is the other way? If here we take acid, so this is concentrated acid, and if we are adding water to it and then we stir it, so we have done the exactly opposite thing of this. What will happen, children? Here in the container acid is there, so acid is more quantity in the container, and water we are adding slowly from outside. So what will happen? The concentrated acid which is present in the container does not have the tendency to absorb that high quantity of heat which is released. So as a result, what will happen? The heat will not be absorbed in the solution which is present in the container. As a result, that heat will escape into the surroundings. Now surroundings means the beaker, the solution. So it may happen that because of the tremendous heat released, the container may break, or it may also happen that the concentrated acid which is present in the container may splash out of the beaker. It may come out of the beaker. As a result, the person who is handling that may be injured, may come across some accident, will meet with an accident. So we should never ever try this. We should never dilute an acid by pouring water into the acid. Rather, the safe way is we should take water in the container and we should add concentrated acid in small portions with continuous stirring, and in this way we should dilute an acid solution. Okay, so this is the first characteristic, that mixing of acid and water is an exothermic process, and we should do the dilution of acid by adding concentrated acid to water, so that whatever heat is produced is absorbed properly and there is no mishap which will take place. Okay, now let us see the next point. The next point was, children, that acids give H plus ions in aqueous medium. So whichever acids we come across frequently, let us take HCl, H2SO4, acetic acid, that is CH3COOH. So any kind of acid, when it is put into water, it will give H plus ions. Acids give H plus ions. This is a theory which is given by a scientist known as Arrhenius. So Arrhenius said that what is an acid? He has given the definition of acid. That acid is that substance which will give H plus ions in aqueous solution. Now what is aqueous solution? A solution which is made in water. So acids will give H plus ions in water only. Whatever acid is there, its property or acidic nature is due to H plus ions. So the acidic nature of acid is due to H plus ions. Without these H plus ions, acids will not show any acidic characteristic. So, and when is this H plus formed? This is H plus is formed only in an aqueous medium, that is in the presence of water. In the absence of water, no H plus ions can form. So if water is absent, then acid cannot show its acidic nature. Let us take an example of HCl. Children, you will be surprised to know that HCl is originally a gas. It is a gas, hydrogen chloride. The name of this gas is hydrogen chloride. There is an activity given in your textbook in this topic, under this topic, how HCl gas is formed. You can go through your textbook, you search where it is given, you will come to know HCl gas is produced by the reaction of sodium chloride solid and sulfuric acid. So when in a test tube, sodium chloride solid is taken and H2SO4, concentrated H2SO4 is added. So we get, it is a double displacement reaction. We get Na2SO4 aqueous plus HCl gas. So this is how HCl gas is produced. This HCl gas does not have any H plus ions. So, and that is why we don't call it as hydrochloric acid when it is a gas. When it is a gas, we just call it as hydrogen chloride. When this gas mixes with water, then with water only it can form H plus ions. So when this HCl gas is mixed with water, then it will form H plus ions and Cl minus ions. Now as water is also there, immediately this H plus and H2O will combine and it will form H3O plus. This is known as hydronium ion. So we are covering the third point also, that acids in water, they will form H plus ions which immediately combines with hydronium ion, that is H3O plus ion. Now children, we know that what is H plus ion? Hydrogen, as we know its configuration, it is having one electron and one proton. The composition of hydrogen is one electron, one proton. So when H plus ion is formed, one electron is removed. So what remains back is one proton. And that is why H plus we can also call it as a proton. Now a single proton will be very reactive, or we can say it can't exist independently. And that is the reason why as soon as H plus ion is formed, it combines with water to form H3O plus ions. So let us come back. Originally HCl is a gas. It is known as hydrogen chloride. When hydrogen chloride is passed through water, we get H plus ions. So until and unless HCl is dissolved in water, it will not show any acidic characteristics. Now what do you mean by acidic characteristic? So we had seen in the first period that acids show acidic characteristics, means they will give H plus ions. And how do we come to know that a substance is acid? We come to know a substance is acid if it turns blue litmus paper to red. That is a very important characteristic of acid, that acids turn blue litmus paper to red. So HCl, if it is in the gas form and if it is not having any moisture, then it cannot turn the color of blue litmus paper to red. So if we want to see the change of blue litmus paper to red, and if the litmus paper is dry, it will never turn the if it is dry HCl and paper is also dry, it will not show any change in the color. Why? Because HCl gas on its own can never form H plus ions. Got it, children? So what is the requirement? H plus ions can form only in aqueous medium, that is in the presence of water. Without water, it cannot show any acidic nature. It cannot change the color of blue litmus paper to red. So that is the basic requirement for showing acidic characteristics. Acidic nature of any substance is due to H plus ions, and H plus ions are always formed in aqueous medium. In the absence of water, no H plus ions can form. So this is the second characteristic of acid. Now let us see the next characteristic. Acid solution conduct electricity. The next characteristic of an acid is that acid solutions conduct electricity. For this, let us understand an activity. In this, we will take a beaker and fill it with HCl solution. At the bottom of the beaker, there is a cork. This is a rubber cork, and two nails are fixed into this rubber cork, and these nails are connected to the battery source of electric current, and one of the wire is connected to the positive terminal, another is connected to the negative terminal. There is a bulb in this circuit, as you can see. So now when we pass electric current, the bulb will glow. The bulb will glow, which indicates that the acid solution is able to conduct electricity. Now this activity is repeated with different types of solutions such as H2SO4, and then acetic acid, and glucose solution C6H12O6, alcohol solution C2H5OH. So turn by turn these solutions are changed and current is passed, and it is checked whether the bulb glows or not. So it has been found that with HCl, H2SO4, acetic acid, or even NaOH, NaOH is a base. So with these solutions, every time the bulb glows, which indicates that current can pass through the solution, means the solution is a good conductor of electricity. But in the case of glucose or alcohol, the bulb does not glow. Bulb does not glow, it means that these solutions are unable to conduct electric current. Now, what is the similarity between this and this? In every compound you can see there is hydrogen. In glucose also there is hydrogen, alcohol also hydrogen is there, acid also hydrogen is there. Then what is the reason why these two solutions are unable to conduct electricity? So the reason is that these solutions do not give ions in the solution. In the aqueous solution, glucose and alcohol, they don't form any ions. On the other hand, acid, whether it is HCl, hydrochloric acid, or sulfuric acid, or acetic acid, they can form H plus ions in the solution. So though this is having hydrogen, it does not give any H plus ions. Whereas these solutions, they give H plus ions. The basic requirement for any solution to conduct electric current is that it should give ions in aqueous solution. NaOH also can conduct electric current. a solution of aqueous solution of NaOH conducts electricity. Why? Because NaOH also in water, it will split up into Na plus and OH minus ions. So if we see an acid and base, there are certain characteristics which are common for acid and base. Like we saw that in water, HCl, it will give H plus ions and Cl minus ion. Same way, NaOH in water, it will give Na plus ions and OH minus ion. So as it gives ion, acid also will conduct electricity and base will also conduct electricity. Then one more characteristic of acid is the formation of hydronium ion. So earlier also we saw that when H plus is forming in aqueous solution, H plus is nothing but a proton, and a proton cannot exist independently. Means it will immediately combine with water molecule and it will form H3O plus ion. H3O plus ion is formed when H plus is combining with water. We will call this ion as hydronium ion. Hydronium ion is nothing chemically, but it is same as H plus ion. So whether I say hydrogen ion or I say hydronium ion, it is one and the same. Only symbolically we write hydrogen ion as H plus, hydronium ion as H3O plus. H plus will always exist as a hydronium ion in the solution. But for writing purpose, we can write it as H plus ion or we can write it as H3O plus ion. So I hope so that you have understood this concept of acid solutions or even base solutions conducting electricity and why glucose and alcohol, they can't conduct electric current. I am also sending a link of YouTube to demonstrate this activity, how the arrangement is done and how do you get the results for it. So please watch that video also along with this video in continuation. So here we come to the end of characteristics of acid. One more last point which is remaining is acid solutions. When water is added to any acid solution or it is diluted, the hydrogen ion concentration decreases per unit volume. Children, per unit volume, this term is very important when you write about the dilution or the concentration of hydrogen ion. What does it mean? Let us just see quickly and then we'll finish it off. Per unit volume. When acid solution is diluted, the H plus ions decreases per unit volume. What does it mean? That if suppose you have a glass containing a solution of sugar, it will be sweet in taste. Now you remove 1 spoonful from this glass and you taste it. Sugar solution. You taste this sugar solution, it will be sweet. Now if you add water in this and fill the glass to the full and again you take 1 spoonful of this solution and you taste, will you find that the taste of the sugar is of the sugar solution is equally sweet as before? No, children. This will be a little less sweet. Why will it be less sweet? Is the amount of sugar changing in this glass? No. The amount of sugar is the same, but the amount of water has increased. So when you are taking a spoonful now or you have taken before when you have taken, the spoonful will contain more quantity of sugar. Now this spoonful will contain less quantity of sugar. Means per unit volume. Unit means 1. We have compared for the same quantity. Same spoon we have taken here also, in here also. So in this spoon, the number of sugar molecules have become less in this spoon as compared to this spoon. So we say that H plus ions decreases per unit volume. If instead of sugar this is acid, then H plus ions will decrease per unit volume. In the case of sugar, sugar molecules decrease per unit volume. So this is the last characteristic, that on dilution acid solution the H plus ions decrease per unit volume. So here the topic characteristics of acids is coming to an end, and in the next video we will discuss about the reaction